slightly off today, Dan. Why does it always default to that mailbox? I swear. Buddy, what are you doing, babe? You coming in to do the broadcast with me? I know I missed you too. You can help me with the broadcast. You can be my weather girl. You want to be my weather girl? You want to be my weather girl? Yeah? Or my weather boy? You a good weather boy? Yes, you are. Hey, Kristen. Thank you. Hi, Jamie Taylor. How are you? Uh, you and Andrew are waiting to see Joker at the movie? Like, this early? Wait, what time is it, girl? Like, I guess an 11 a.m. matinee, maybe? It's a little early to be seeing some Joker stuff. That's cray-cray. Y'all are fans. Although the new Harley Quinn movie looks kind of cool. Like, I'm sort of stoked on her. Like, her little, like, backstory. Hey, Don Barker. Hey, Lori. Good morning, Rose. Thank you for the welcome back. Good morning, Linda. How are you? Hey, Pat. How are you? Sorry that I wasn't on the last 2 days, guys, but the internet was just too dodgy, and I got really frustrated when I saw that the last forecast dropped right before I opened the cards up. I was a little bit annoyed, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to fight it. It's too much fight for where I was at. Omega Institute is where I was at in Rhinebeck, New York. If you guys ever get a chance to go there, they do all different types of meditation programs, spiritual learning programs. They have guest speakers, like a really cool food menu. There's meditation classes, yoga classes, Tai Chi classes, all different kinds of stuff. They even do art stuff. Sorry, I'm staging this space because I haven't been in here in about 5 days, and I could use a little scrub-a-dub-dub. But uh, it was an interesting experience. It was a beautiful experience. Not only like studying with Kyle Gray, who is amazing and absolutely adorable, totally funny, really cool guy, but what was also amazing about it was I met some really beautiful people, both like in the classroom and at Omega. And y'all know me, I'm a crier, right? So don't worry about my tears. My tears are not a bad thing. They let me know that I have a heart. They let me know that I can feel for this chakra. But I feel like I'm in this a bit of an emotional come down from 5 days of being like focused on spirit. And I mean, I know I do this with you guys every day, and it's my little opportunity to focus on spirit, but we do it for like 20 to 40 minutes, and then we let go, and I get busy about my day, and I do my things, and I may check in with spirit here and there, but or I might meditate or get centered, reground, do whatever. But I get busy with my day and I get busy with my life. But when you're there, it's sort of like you're dedicated to just sort of being with yourself. And then when you're in class, you're being taken through these beautiful meditations and with these beautiful people, and you're allowed to sort of be yourself and share yourself and be vulnerable. And everybody's like in the same boat, right? And it's a lovely experience. But when you come home, you're like, oh wow. It's sort of like I was equating it to being very thirsty and then, ooh, girl, you thirsty. Being very thirsty and then getting a large glass of water and then having it sort of taken away in a way. It's sort of how it felt to me. And not in a bad way. It's just the thing is you have to take these practices back into your life. Kind of like what I tell you guys with the breathing exercises. I need to practice it myself. Is that um, if I like the food there was amazing. It was all organic and locally sourced as best that they could do, and cooked home cooked meals every day, 3 times a day. And you're in line and you're putting this food on your plate, and it's making you really conscious of what you put in your body on a daily basis when you're in your regular life. And I live in Texas, which is a great state with a broad selection of foods, but a lot of it is fast food. You know, a lot of it is drive-through, and so it was bringing up that for me, which was really interesting about how I really have a strong, deep desire within myself to feed myself better, yet I don't. You know, I get lazier, I get busy. It was interesting to say the least. It was a very eye-opening experience, both from what Kyle was teaching us, which was beautiful and amazing, to also what the space of Omega was teaching me, which was, you know, there was a sanctuary that I went to in the morning that was very quiet, and there was morning meditation there, and I would sit there and do the first half of it. I'm not gonna lie. Come 7:30, when we would do the outside walking meditation along the deck, I would just keep walking right towards my shoes, get my shoes on, and go get coffee. But I was up there every morning at 7:30 or at 7 o'clock, trying to get my meditate on and get centered before the day started. And so it's nice to have that focus, and that focus only be on you. But it's funny how sometimes that can become uncomfortable. I'm sorry, I'm not even reading your guys' comments. Hey Ducky. It does feel so much better to eat clean, Linda Masa. It does. And then you realize, kind of, you also have the realization that, oh wow, I don't really eat clean at home. You know, I try and eat salads, or my version of clean here in Texas is going to Subway because it's got a lot of vegetables. So that's sort of like the best, quickest, fastest answer that I give myself. And to be honest, it's not enough, is what I've realized in this visit to Omega. So Omega is a beautiful place. And also, I have to say, the staff there was just so, they have this thing about compassionate service, and you feel it from them. So not only were we feeling it from each other in class and from Kyle and his mom, but we were feeling it from the staff at Omega. I was, at least, you know, and it was just a really beautiful experience. They really try and take care of you from a place of compassion, like just genuine compassion. All their shirts said on the back, "How can I help?" And I'm gonna post more pictures of my experience there, because I also found little weird things that popped out like here and there that I just thought were like pure magic. So it's a great place to go. You don't have to necessarily go for a class. You can also just go to R&R, do a rest and retreat, and experience the space. It's very calming. There's tennis courts, basketball courts. Trust me, I'm not on their payroll. I'm just letting you know where I was for the last few days, being a bad meteorologist. All right, so now let's get to the real business of the day. My name is Dan. This is Engelgeist, and this is my channel. And this is the channel that I'm trying to build, and you guys all help me with, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate that so much so, and I appreciate your patience with me while I was gone away for a few days, getting some higher perspective from some other teachers, right? And so it was neat to watch. I gotta say this too. It was neat to watch Kyle work, because to me, Kyle does. I don't necessarily know that I want to be on the level that Kyle's at, but I love that Kyle works in angel work, and he works in it so so openly. Um, whew, I told you it's like a spiritual come down. Um, for me, it took a lot to get in this chair and sit in front of you guys with this chair. As much as I love this chair, and this chair speaks to me, and the shoes that I wore, I have these shoes with wings on it that I only wore at the event because I felt safe to wear them there. This necklace I had made, it has angels all over it. You know, I sort of hide it under my shirt because I don't want to be ridiculed. And Kyle touched on that a little bit. And the cool thing was that there was really beautiful people in the room that also had sort of the same belief set as me. So it was like that, the power of being around like-minded people, just kind of like the same sort of, I mean, we create that power here, I believe, in this group when we meet every morning around our card of the day. I think that we um, create that power and that community amongst ourselves. And so I got to experience it on a little bit bigger level around something that's very personal to me. And so it was very affirming and validating to see somebody who does it, and does it with so much skill and so much just, it's who he is, and it's beautiful. And so I was in awe. And that's why I went, kind of, was to go and see that. And in hope to be validated, which I was by some of the information that he shared, because it was weird, guys. Some of the breathing work we did in our class, in his class, we've been working on here prior to me going, and I haven't been super studying his work. Um, but he had us breathing light out of our heart chakra, which we've been doing for the last few like weeks, and and also concentrating on the body, like meditating on the body, and you know how we do our breath work and stuff. So I'm being a little long-winded this morning because I'm back, and I'm an old windbag, as they say. But I'm happy to be back. I missed you guys. That was another thing I think that made me a little bit emotional. Was like I was having a hard time trying to find the connection to you guys in the midst of it all. And I was making new connections to lovely people that I've met on Facebook. So they may find their way to the channel and you may get to meet them too. And they were definitely lovely ladies. A lot of them were ladies. There were some men there and they were awesome too. I'm looking for the deck. I'm changing decks on us this week because we're in October. Bodhi's asleep in the meditation chair, and Gus, and all 65 pounds of him, is trying to climb up there with Bodhi. I gotta show you this. Can you see this? Oh gosh. Do you see Bodhi's asleep on the chair, and now Gus is trying to get up there with him? Gus is so passive aggressive. Like, total Mr. Passive Aggressive. He will, like, move in on you and just slowly wait until you're uncomfortable enough that you have to leave. So we'll see how well this works. He's like standing on the chair staring at me like, Daddy, why can't I have the chair? Guys, get down, bud. That's Bodhi. Bodhi was there first, and Bodhi's older than you. Give Bodhi a break, buddy. I missed that. He's actually going like, woo. I mean, like, please give it to me. I miss them so much too. That's the other thing. I'm happy to be home with them. So the next deck that we're going to work with is also from the Witchwood Oracle. It's called the Miss Mai's Victorian Oracle. It's from England. I got it off of Etsy. So the way that I'm going to do this is we were working with the Witchwood Oracle for the first 10, 11 days, even though I sort of fell apart due to my visit to Omega on the last few days. But we're going to do the next 10 days with this Miss Mai's Victorian. And instead, we're going to switch out the small card that we had, which was the White Witch Oracle, who, mind you, this weekend I met a girl at this event who happens to live in England and knows the creator of that little small deck, the White Witch Oracle that we've been using. So that lady actually contacted me on Instagram and commented saying, oh, I love to see where my babies end up. So that was very cool. So, and we have the Tarot Beauty Contest, guys. So don't forget about that because we've got to pick our deck. I'm going to put up the poll in the Engelgeist Facebook group for the next deck that we're going to use. And one of the artists from one of those decks contacted me on YouTube. Somehow he found the unboxing video. And he was hard to track down to tag him, to let him know. And somehow he found his way to me, which was like pure magic. So that was a big high point this weekend. I got a couple of new charms also for the charm box while I was away. These are more charms I need to educate myself on, but I'm excited to have them because they bring in a whole nother realm of spirituality. I want to do a charm haul video with the charms that I showed you last like maybe a week ago. But there's Krishna, Tara, and I think Vishnu in here. And so they're deities that I'm not super familiar with, but I'm going to have to read up on them so I know that what they represent. So if they get pulled, I'm giving you guys good information. But I think that they're going to be blessings nonetheless if they show up in your charmings. And so we're going to move into the secondary card. The backup card that we're going to do today is going to be from the Ritual deck by Hand Me That Pencil, Justine from New Zealand, from Etsy, okay? And this is the unboxing that's on my channel if you haven't watched it yet. So this is going to be our new secondary card for the next 10 days, okay? Because she's not part of the beauty. Her other deck, Song of My Heart, is part of the beauty contest for November, but this deck is not, so we're going to use this now, okay? And then one other thing. This is now the grounding stone bag. I found a bunch of palm stones at Omega, which I purchased to add to the grounding stone bag. So we have probably a good 10 to 12 new palm stones, new options for grounding stones in our daily readings. So that was exciting. So I'm sharing that with you. But okay, so that's all the house rules. Sorry it was long-winded, but it was, hey Christina Avalos, how are you? Hey Marita. Hey Lisa Vanderhelm. It's a lot of stuff, but I've been gone for a little while doing some stuff in the background. Mind you guys, I am leaving again in November for Virginia Beach for a mediumship class for 5 days. But there I'll be staying at a Ramada, so hopefully I'll have better internet and I'll sort out. I might have to pre-tape and just upload the videos. So it won't be live, but you guys can deal with that. I also got this deck too while I was at the bookstore, the Empathic Oracle. So I've never seen this before, so I thought this would be a cool unboxing, so I grabbed it while I was there because I've just not ever noticed it on Amazon. And I think it might be a fun deck to explore. So there's that coming. Coming soon to a theater near you. So I think that's all of the stuff that I've got going on. We have a charming on Saturday night, as long as everything goes as planned. And let's get started. Let's do our breath work. If you guys remember what I tell you. Hey Nate, how are you? So let's pull in our air or our breath, or as I learned today or this week, it's called prana, which I think I knew that already, but I don't think in those terms. But it's like, what gives us life. So we breathe it in through our nose, deep into the belly, exhale it out our mouth. Imagining, if we want a simple visual, imagine plus signs going in through your nose and dropping into your belly and spreading out through your body, right? And as you exhale out through your mouth, release all. We're going to hold at the top of the breath for a moment to let the oxygen sort of permeate our blood system and our brain, right? Then as we exhale, imagine minus signs going out, like we're letting go of anything that's stale or no longer working for us, outdated energy, outdated information, things that don't belong to us. We can just let that go. Let that go to the center of the planet. Let Mother Earth re-energize it and have it. It's not ours. We don't need it anymore. Okay, and it's okay to let go. As we let go of that first, second, and third breath, we want to pay gratitude to the body, then second the mind, then third the spirit. Just being grateful for them in whatever state they may be in present time. Okay, even if we're stressed about our body, stressed about our mind, worried or doubtful about our spirit, just be grateful and love it. Send it some love. Okay. Another way to send that love, and something I would like you to focus on if you can, if I haven't given you too much, is just turn that light on here in your heart chakra and let it sort of shine out and spread out throughout your body. And hopefully by the third breath, if it's gone a little bit out into your aura, out beyond your body, let it go as far as it needs to. It will know where to go, okay? So if you'll join me in that, I would greatly appreciate it. Please put your feet flat on the floor. And let's close our eyes and just bring our awareness to our body. If you want to put your hand somewhere on your body, that sometimes helps. And let's inhale through the nose, deeply into the belly. Inhale. And release. Thanking the body for the beautiful mechanism that it is, how it carries us through everything at a physical level, how it has its own knowledge about healing itself, acknowledging that and honoring that, opening up communication to that body if we feel comfortable to do that. Let's take in that second breath. And release. That's my dog snoring. He's doing his own form of meditation. And let's say thank you to the mind for all the work that it does, for all the thoughts, doubts, imaginations, brilliance, everything, the whole shebang. Just give thanks and gratitude, give it some love. Allow some of that golden energy to go up there towards the mind and just permeate the mind at a cellular level. Just love it for where it's at right now. And let's take in that third breath. And release. Really push out all that air. Thanking the Spirit for all that it does. Remembering that the Spirit is always with us. That it is always, always there to help us, to guide us. Even if we feel lost, doubtful, scared. And being grateful for that. Being like remembering that and thanking the Spirit for that. Okay? And let's open our eyes whenever we're ready. Welcome, guys. I missed you. It is Saturday the 12th. I had to check the calendar just because it was funny. It started on a Sunday and it ended on a Friday this week. And it felt like it was Sunday when we were leaving yesterday. I was like, is it Sunday? Is it Sunday? It's like, no, it's freaking Friday. It's the beginning of the weekend. So I'm a little bit like wonkadoo, but whatever. I'll give me a day or two. I took a salt bath this morning, cleansed, saged, did my my Blu-ray stuff this morning to just kind of set my space, and I will be off this emotional sort of ness as it all settles in and assimilates. Is a good word. So let's ask Spirit for a card today from our new deck. All right, Miss Mai's Victorian Oracle for the Witchy Poo theme of the month of October. Let's see what she's got in store for us. Hey, Amanda Kuppenmeyers. Yeah, can you hear him? That's okay, Jamie. Don't meditate while driving, girl. Do not. Thank you, Spirit. So what do we need to know as a collective for this day, Saturday, October 12th, 2019, for those who are watching currently and those who may tune in at any point later in the day, or in time, in memoriam. How's that? Not too heavy there, huh? We had a lot of door energy this week, and it was funny. In the forecast, we had door on Sunday, I believe, which I was talking about the doors of opportunity. And then it came up again. I didn't write it on the calendar because I wasn't here, but it came up again in this one of the second forecasts. Maybe it was the one that was cut off. I can't remember. I want to say Wednesdays. But the funny thing was every time the door kept showing up, Kyle kept speaking in class about doors and windows, like later that day. And I was just like, it felt like Spirit was like hitting me in the head. It was awesome. Like, not in a bad way, but I was like, whoa, Kyle. Y'all, you and I are like speaking something similar here. What is going on? It's a definite sign of angels at work. Angels, Spirit, whatever you feel comfortable calling it. I like angels, but I also like Spirit. I mix both. That's why my channel is called Engelgeist. Engel is the German word for angel. Geist is my last name, which is ghost or spirit. Woo! All right, thank you, Spirit. Let's get rolling with this. Interesting. Alright, give me a moment with this one. I'm going to flip the camera so you guys can see what our card is today, and I actually were okay. The first initial reaction was woof, but I know what this means now. It just took me a minute. I heard the word, let's say. So I'm going to switch cameras one moment, and I think that Bodhi's already doing it, to be honest, with all that good snoring going on in the background. So today's card from this new deck is Coffin. Okay, let me adjust the camera just a little bit. Okay, so today's card is Coffin. What this tells me, or what I feel like this is there is a, thanks, Bode. There is a a retreat that needs to take place today. And maybe I'm reading this more so for myself than anybody else, but I am definitely applying this to myself today. There is this moment where we think of vampires, which is perfect for the October month of Halloween. But there's this moment where this is a space of rest. This is a space of going in and giving oneself the much needed rest that we need to sort of almost assimilate, like I was saying, the information that maybe we've attained over this week. I don't know if you guys did experience opportunities this week with all of those door cards showing up throughout the week. I hope that you indeed did, or that you were able to see them and take them. Maybe now you might be in a place, if you feel anywhere similar to me, you might be in a place where you need a little downtime. This card to me says it's totally acceptable to take that downtime. It's totally acceptable today on Saturday the 12th to relax and rest, go inward, and create even, I wouldn't say that coffins are necessarily a cozy space, but what I'm hearing is you can create a cozy space where you feel safe, where you feel aware of what's going on around you, where you feel like things are under control and manageable. If anything creeps in that feels unmanageable or out of control, doubtful, frightening, anything like that that might be bothering at you or have been pecking at your brain for the last few weeks, let it go. And what I mean by that is for today, a coffin also can signify sort of like in tarot, the death card. Death is never a bad thing. Death is something that is a cycle of life. Death is something that we all have to face. Letting go is part of death. It's part of the experience of death, right? That's the beauty of it. And so we get these opportunities to experience sort of these like these little deaths in a way. And so when I look at this coffin, I'm not trying to be morbid, but maybe this is an opportunity for us to let go of something that may not be serving us or not helping us, and retreat into our own little safe space, our own little safe haven, just for the day, just to kind of acclimate and rest. And that's what I'm getting from this card. This card doesn't feel like foreboding or any of that. I mean, I could check the definition of what they think coffin means, but I'm not going to. I sort of feel like this is about rest, rejuvenation, assimilation, transmutation, finding out a little bit more deeply about what you know to be true and being okay with that. I think that I certainly had that opportunity this week. I can only like sort of, compare this card to some of my experiences to share with you to sort of point out ideas of where you guys might apply it to your life. And so for you, find time today to take a rest, go inward, secure yourself, secure your space. This also feels very, to me, in a way, like defining one's boundaries, defining one's aura, defining one. Oh my God, Nate says, and oh my God, to this card, my daughter has been dealing with the suicide of a close friend. She is trying to move through death and this change. That's what Nate says on Facebook. I'm so sorry to hear that, Nate. But see, this card may have a different meaning for different people. But to me, suicide is a very unfortunate event, and I'm so sorry that you're dealing with that. And definitely, I feel for your daughter too. But death is something that is inevitable, right? We do deal with it at some point. So, um, not to make light of the situation that you're experiencing, but this may have that significance for you at this time. But what I want to say, maybe in reference to that, for you personally, Nate, is maybe create a space that's safe for your daughter today. Don't obviously put her in a coffin, but like this to me feels like a place of rest and rejuvenation. Okay? So if you're dealing with a stressful situation, if your daughter is emotionally upset right now, take her and give her a space where she can feel sort of, and here's another thing that just came into my mind, and I think that this is like sort of the angels speaking to me. Where do coffins go? Coffins go into the ground. So what do we do in situations that cause us stress? We need to ground. And so that's another take on a coffin, or a more positive spin on what would be like a quote unquote spooky card, is maybe this is an opportunity to sort of ground ourselves, get centered, rest, rejuvenate, and we can pop this door open tonight like a vampire and come out tonight feeling refreshed. or maybe even tomorrow, feeling refreshed and ready to drink the blood of others. I'm just kidding. I don't want y'all drinking anybody's blood, okay? But, so that is that card. Now, let me. Hey, Nancy Mobrian, how are you? It is the death of bad habits, Lori Hill Mallet. Very, very correct. It is the idea of letting those things go, but I also think that there's definitely, to me, I'm seeing the visual of going inward, like climbing into the coffin and closing the door and really going into oneself, finding your safe space. This is like the coffin is the place where the vampire has to go to, right? To be safe before the sun comes up, right? To keep his life intact. So to me, this says this is our opportunity to take this Saturday to get centered and go within and find our safe space where we can rest and rejuvenate before we go out and take the life of some virgin somewhere. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's just a little Halloween humor, guys. All right, so let me shuffle this ritual deck for our next card to add to that. Thank you, Spirit, for that. Thank you, Angels. Can I please have a card to accompany this to further give clarification for those that are watching and those that will watch it anytime in the future? So I really think this is about introspection, going inward, resting and rejuvenating. We might have a big week ahead. Tomorrow will be the 3-card weekly spread, so, experience the little death and let go, right? Let go of whatever may be haunting you. Oh, wow. So I love this deck. I love this artist. I'm going to put it on equal ground with Coffin. It's interesting we get this bony face. I wish it would, they slide down too far, but I'm going to hold it up so that you guys can read the bottom. So this is Relic. I love that it's a skeleton. It says here, lay down broken keepsakes, release heirloom trauma. What were we just talking about? About like sort of going in and releasing, letting go. Maybe these things, because this is a coffin, this is more traumatic stuff. Maybe this is a scary image, an image that makes me say, ooh, because we're looking at dealing with heavier things, like Nate's daughter, who's dealing with the death of a friend, right? This is the time to lay down the broken keepsakes and release the heirloom trauma. Like I'm saying, go into the coffin, or, I mean, it sounds so weird to say go into the coffin, but go into oneself. Go in introspectively and look at what is no longer working that we've been holding on to, the broken keepsakes. They're 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 there, and they're sort of memories, right? They're relics. They've been around forever. They've maybe haunted us, or that we've carried them for so long. And I have my own that I carry. I was facing some of them around my body at Omega this week, right? And I was found myself in the wellness center multiple times, chatting with people, to complete strangers, about my issues around my body, you know? And I think that that was me laying down some of my broken keepsakes around the sort of stories I tell myself about my body and how I feel about it. And I think that some of that is because we've been thanking our body in the breathing exercises in the weeks previous. And then I find myself in a class with Kyle Gray, and he's having us do body meditations. And then I'm eating clean food, and all of this stuff is bringing that up for me as an example, right? So where is it that there are things that are maybe keepsakes, things that we've been holding on to, ideas, beliefs that aren't necessarily working for us anymore? There's like, broken keepsakes, and heirloom trauma to me speaks to um, heirloom trauma is like trauma we inherit from our family, familial ideas that no longer serve us, right? Heirloom trauma is something that is passed on generation to generation, and we have a choice to change that. We have a choice and an opportunity, like we were talking about those doors and windows and everything, or both Kyle was talking about the doors and windows. I was seeing those door cards all week. Um, we have those opportunities to sort of walk through those doors and maybe let go of some of those things, break those chains, free up our sort of our soul line, our spirit line, our own souls from the beliefs that limit us. and let them go. So maybe today is the day to go inward, rest, rejuvenate, figure out what those heirloom traumas may be, or those broken keepsakes that sort of hold those heirloom traumas in place, and let them go. Acknowledge them for the relic that they are. Acknowledge them for the teachers that they are. Acknowledge them for like the beauty that they are, but really what they inevitably do is they teach us to bring us closer to ourselves, to our true, more present time self. Okay? And that's what we really want to be. That's where we want to be. So, those are the two cards for today. Let me go to this overflowing, abundant bag of. I might need. Hold on, I'm going to switch cameras on you guys just to say hello again. This bag is so full that I can't even reach into it. So I may need to buy a new bag for the grounding stones. But, hold on one second, let me put up the chat so I can see what you are saying. Oh, I have to untie it. I tied it up in the airport so that the stones didn't go flying everywhere. And of course, they had to check the luggage at the airport, and they were like, "What's this?" I was like, "A bag of rocks," like literally. And they're like, "You're bringing a bag of rocks?" I was like, "Yes." Don't ask. It's a bag of rocks. So that's my life, and I do it for you because I love you all. And I do it for me because I love this. All right, so Spirit, can I please have the stone that we need to ground in today with these thoughts and ideas that have been presented to us? For those of us that are watching or those of us that may tune in at any given time. What stone is it? It's this one. Damn it. Let me have this one, please. Oh, no, another one's falling out. Okay. Beautiful. Yeah, this was the stone from the forecast that didn't fall together. If anybody wants to send me a new velvet bag for the stones off Amazon, just kidding. So here's our stone. I'm going to flip the camera back around, guys. Oops, I don't know if it's going to stay up. Let's see. Come on, booby. You can do it. It's a little wonk, but the stone is trust. Okay? And I think that that's what this is about. Let's say, how do I want to put this? You know, that coffin might be a scary thing to look at. That coffin might be a scary place to go for some of us. Maybe not all of us. Rest and rejuvenation isn't always a bad thing. Going inward and looking at the things that we maybe need to let go at a deeper, more like trauma-based level. Those things can be scary. We need to trust ourselves. We need to trust our bodies. We need to trust our mind. We need to trust our soul. We thank them every day, right, when we do these breathing exercises in an effort to become closer and have a more present time-based relationship with them, based in gratitude and trust. So I would say that whenever, if you do attempt to sort of go into your metaphorical coffin space today and do some work, or look at some broken keepsakes or some relics that you might be carrying around that you don't necessarily need to anymore, trust in yourself, trust in your angels, trust in your spirit guides, trust in your ancestors. Remember, this is, I love this, okay? I'm just going to go here with this. This heirloom trauma, release heirloom trauma. Your ancestors are behind you guys on this idea of releasing this heirloom trauma because you not only offer yourself a healing, but there's a healing down the line of ancestors. Do you see what I'm saying? There's a healing that takes place, and you need to trust in that. You need to trust that you have the power and the capability to do that for not only yourself, but the chain reaction that will happen down the lines of those lives that have already been and gone from the planet, because the energy is still there, it's just on a different vibration. Okay, now I'm sounding a little crazy maybe, but that's what I'm seeing, or that's what the angels are showing me. So I hope that makes sense. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. These are actually tears of joy. Because as much as this is a message for you guys today, This also reflects a message of sort of what I was looking at this week. It sort of, to me, is a clarification of what I just went through this week. And so as I present this to you guys to maybe do today for yourself as your forecast, I see similarities of what I was dealing with and what I was confronted with during this week, and how in trusting myself, my angels, and my own spirit, and moving forward, sharing with strangers, opening up to strangers, I think that on some level I was able to release some things that I maybe fully don't even understand yet. So as this all settles for me, I will get less teary-eyed, but I don't want you guys to worry about these tears. These tears are actually tears of joy, right? So go out there into your day, rest and rejuvenate, love yourself no matter what, right? Remember, it's all just energy, and it's constantly changing and shifting, and it's never stagnant and perfect. We don't want perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. If it's perfect, there's no room for movement. It doesn't need to change. And the only constant is that energy changes, right? Nature abhors a vacuum. So don't be a vacuum. Don't be a Hoover, guys. I missed you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. And I'm so glad that I'm so glad to be back. I'm so glad that you know, were also patient. Um, Please like, share out the video wherever you think it might be needed. I am going to sign off now. I have to do a reading in about an hour, so I need to go ground and clear from this and get ready for that. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the 3-card spread. There will be a charming Wednesday night. If you guys want live charmings, you can make reservations for that. I think you know the drill on that. And thank you, Ramona. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Ducky. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Emery. You guys have a great day, and rest and rejuvenate, even if that's the littlest bit that you do. Oh, and by the way, you know, I got up out of bed this morning and I felt a little emotional, right? And I felt a little weird. I'm just going to share this with you before I go. And I was having a hard time getting things going. I was sort of unpacking my bags and trying to get things together to get to this point. And I went to go light my incense here in the window that I have. I light incense in the living room and incense in the window, 2 different types that I do for the house. And as I was lighting it, a red cardinal was right outside the window. Like literally like 2 feet away from me. And he popped up on the fence and then he popped up on the roof and like he sat there and he like stared right at me. And I've never seen a red cardinal in Texas, but I used to see them all the time in P-Town. And it was just kind of cool. And I just felt like it was spirit or angels like meeting me, because I was just feeling off. And I was asking, I literally had said, you know, angels, please give me a sign. Like, not please, I said, thank you, angels, give me a sign to, you know, let me know that I'm to be doing this morning. Because I just felt sort of like, But, and then I saw that cardinal and it like took my breath away. So if you ask, it's there. They will help you with this trauma. They will help you with these relics that maybe we don't need to hold on to anymore. We can have the experience of them and the awareness of them, but we don't have to act from them. All right, I love you guys. Hey, Natalie K. You're new to me. Are you from the Kyle Gray week? I don't know. There might be people coming in from the Kyle Gray week. I'm not sure. I'm looking forward to some of them showing up. So, thank you for tuning in, Natalie K. If you, hi Christina Tadlock, how are you? I'm not, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just feeling emotional from the week that I just had. I was out studying and being around amazing people doing amazing things, and so I'm sort of back in my normal life listening to my bulldog snoring next to me, and I'm very happy to have that as my reality, but I'm also doing laundry. All right, you guys, I gotta sign off because I thank you, Natalie K, for subscribing. I appreciate the subscription. I'm on every day. Tomorrow will be the weekly forecast. If you hit the bell, it will notify you. I pull 3 cards for the day, and it will give you, we're going to look at the underpinning energy of the week. and then we'll go from there. This is a witchy themed month, so we're doing all of the Witchwood Oracle decks, and I'm doing a deck called Ritual from an artist called Hand Me That Pencil on Etsy and on Instagram. She's out of New Zealand and she has beautiful work. So, and the Witchwood Oracle's on Instagram, not Instagram. Well, they may be on Instagram, but they're also on Etsy. So if anybody's interested in finding these decks, I have unboxing videos too you can watch of the decks, and all their information is in the information pull down stuff. All right, you guys. Have a great day, and I will see you guys tomorrow in the morning for the next forecast. And I'm also available for privates. You can always message me at the Facebook business page. All of that is in the link tree links. I'll put it in right now. So you guys have that. If you hit that link, that's all my social media where you can find me. I'm not on Twitter. I just don't know if I can do Twitter. It's just too much. I'm still trying to figure out Instagram. All right. Love you guys. Have a great day. Thank you for bearing with me and making it through this whole live and all the catch-up stuff. And have a great day. Okay? I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye. That's not what I meant to do.